So that is our clown car demo. And I don't know if you could tell in the video, but when I was clicking the car, a clown would come out. That was me clicking to make the clowns come out. So the point here is we are going to use a clickable image, meaning an image where you click it and something happens. And in that case, the car was the clickable image. Excuse me. So I do have a handout I'm going to post for you just to kind of help you sort out the different options we have for images in Small Basic. The first one we looked at was the graphics window draw resized image method. And I like to use that for images that just do nothing, like the Marilyn Monroe pictures. They did nothing. We didn't click them. We didn't animate them. I also like to use this for backgrounds, like, if I'm putting a big background in a scene and going to add some animated images on top of that, I'll make the background with this first method, the draw resized image. And then we looked at the shapes collection. If you're going to animate a shape, animate an image, you can use the shapes collection, and that is what we used in Strangers in Paris, and there was that optional witching hour exercise if you looked at that. So the third type, and that's what we're using in this clown car demo, it's from the Fremi extension. And we'll use FC controls to add an image. And this is really the only way we can have a clickable image, okay? We can animate also with this technique. It's like this technique, the number 3, that's like the most comprehensive image technique. You can have images that do nothing. You can have images that are animated. You could have images that are clickable. It's like everything is contained in this one technique. So if you want to make this your go-to all the time, no matter what, you certainly can't go wrong because this is capable of anything. But the other two, I want you to at least be somewhat aware of these other two. I use the shapes a lot for animation. That's kind of my go-to for animation. But the clickables, you'll see you have to use FC controls. So I'm going to show you the code for the clown car. I'm going to try to do this all in one video. And basically setting up the graphics window at the top, that has not changed. I did have a sound file in there. I'm going to comment that out because I know that music is annoying. So we have the circus picture. Let's see here. Wait a minute. I'm thinking, oh yeah, no, the circus picture is the background, not the car. Let me see if I can pull up these. All of these are in my in the same folder, obviously, as the program file. Let's see if I can get some large icons here. So the circus picture is just the background. It's the circus tent. And then I'm adding the car on top of that. The car is what's going to be the clickable image, so we really have to be careful with that one. And then the clown is just going to come out and be animated. So let's look at the code again. So the circus picture, just drawing the background on the window. Okay, so now we're getting into the nitty-gritty with this program. I'm going to create a car. Look at the technique I'm using. FC controls, add image. Okay, and then, the way you find the image, the way your program finds the image is the same. Program.directory, you find the image, append the image name to that. But FC controls.add image. So this is that number 3 option I was telling you about that can do everything. All right. So, and then I move it into place. A lot of these methods on this technique are the same as with the shapes collection that we saw in Strangers in Paris. So it's pretty intuitive to work with if you're kind of familiar with the other technique already. So here's the thing. So I created this car, and what I want to happen is when the user clicks on that car, I want a clown to come out. All right, and a clown to come out and slide away, basically. So what I've done here is I've created a sub. This is short for subroutine. It's kind of an old-fashioned term in programming, but you still see it. You still see it in Visual Basic, and now obviously we'll see it in Small Basic. We'll use this a lot. I like to call this a sub sandwich. That is not a proper term, but that's the way I think of these structures, because you have like the top piece of bread here and the bottom piece of bread to end the sub, and then we put the code in the middle. All right. So we have this subroutine. And this subroutine contains the code that is going to execute when that car is clicked. And so I come up with a good descriptive name. I made this up, clowncar_click. I made that up, all right? Choose a good descriptive name. So when I'm looking at this, I know exactly what this sub does. It's what's going to run when the clown car is clicked. Okay, and so then inside here, it's really just the exiting of the clown from the car and the sliding away, the animation. And I'm using FC controls. I didn't want to cloud the issue by, throwing in the shapes animate. Well, we'll just use FC controls for this as well. Even though the clown itself is not clickable. But okay, so we're creating the clown using the same technique as we did with the car. Okay, and I did probably have to size the clown apparently. Maybe it was too big or too small. So I just set the width of the clown, and then the height is going to follow suit. So that's one thing with the FC controls. If you want to size an image, just set the width. And then the height is going to follow suit. The aspect ratio of that image is going to be preserved. So I set the width of the clown to 200 pixels. I move the clown into position. The position is where the clown appears when I click it's like coming out of the side of the car. So like somewhere in the, near the car, the clown appears and then moves away. So we say FC controls dot move as animation. And we're moving the clown. And we are providing, it's just like with the shapes.animate, we provide the ending coordinates. So did you notice how the clown slid away? Let me run that again real quick. Okay, so the clown appears and then slides away. And basically the ending coordinates, I said, okay, slide this clown to 700x 175y. Okay, he appears at 275x, 175y. So he slides away perfectly horizontally. We're not changing the y. I am changing the x to 700. Look at the width of the window. It's only 600 pixels. So that's why he's sliding off camera, because I'm sending him to 700. So he's just going to slide out and end up like over here somewhere if this was my the window of the running program. And then 3,000 milliseconds. So that's a 3-second slide out of camera. So anyway, here's the sub that's going to cause the clown to appear and slide away. And now there's one more very important step, and it's easy to forget this, especially when you're beginning. I still forget it from time to time, but it's like the most important step almost. It's, okay, so we have the car image, and then we have the subroutine that's supposed to run when the car image is clicked. We need to make sure they know about each other. We need to make sure that the car knows that this is the sub to run when that car is clicked. So I have to wire it up. I call this the wire up. Again, that's not a proper term, but it's my term. This is the wire up statement. Okay, so anytime you have a control that performs some kind of activity when it's clicked or engaged, you're going to have to wire it up. And so we're saying FC controls dot register mouse down event. You have to be careful because like when you're in your IntelliSense, let me see, I'm going to type, register event, register key down event. I mean, you can experiment with these, but we're really only ever going to use register mouse down event. But here's what I'm trying to say is, it's not going to show up as register mouse down event in your IntelliSense. It's going to show up as register mouse D. So be careful there. Make sure, select it, it's going to fill in, but just make sure, if you're looking for the whole thing, you're not going to see it in the IntelliSense at least. So, and we're saying, what are we registering? We're registering the car image. And we're registering it to the name of the sub. Now, here's my recommendation. And look, the name of the sub is in quotes. That's just the syntax that you have to use. But this is my recommendation. Even when I'm coding, and especially when you're coding, because you're a beginner, you should copy. Don't type the name again in here, because every time you're typing, you're opening yourself up to typos. It's got to be perfect. So I copy this here. Okay, and I'm going to paste it into here. Now I know it's exact. I know there are no typos there, so that's what we have to do. So now they know about each other. The car knows that this is the car's subroutine to run when that picture is clicked and engaged. And that'll do it.